The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC. Go. Guidance. Go. Fido. Go. Prop.
Go.
GNC. Go. Max.
Go.
Eagle. Go. Ecom.
Go pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. Putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, We encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Good morning, travelers and those like. I'm Ed Odell,
And I am Ryan Jones.
and this is what's going down. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever your beverage might be. Join us. Let's do a little chit chat, if you will, today. I'm skipping the coffee today. I'm going straight to water, doing a little war thing. Yeah,
I'm drinking decaf right now. I had my full throttle coffee earlier today, so I'm just gonna drink on the decaf. But I couldn't do the show without my coffee.
yeah, right. I'm doing a little back down. I'm backing away a little bit from the coffee, trying to lower some things here and make things more level.
Yeah, well that's fine. You do what you got to do. Water is good. I drink a sparkling water with breakfast. This morning. So I've done the water thing already. And
I'm trying the Propel watermelon.
How was it?
All of the Propel and anything that's flavored water tends to have a bitter taste to me. So I'm trying to be used to it.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's got a weird aftertaste to it. I'm not a big fan of flavored water, but I'll drink like bubbly and like the sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no problem. I don't know. I used to hate it, but now I'm like I'll drink it all the time.
Yeah, I guess it's just the artificial sugar. You know, I don't know. They say zero sugar, but you know it's in there.
What's that fake sugar? It's got that weird taste, like Coke Zero.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't taste very good.
No, not at all.
I noticed zero sugar. We got RJ some zero sugar root beer, and that's actually pretty good.
Oh, now that I can see that maybe. Yeah, because you're just dealing with the root beer root. So yeah, okay, I'll do with that.
I mean, honestly, if it was a regular day and I wasn't doing the show, I wouldn't be drinking coffee right now. But you know, you got to go with the aesthetic of the show. Drinking coffee, I'm just used to it.
You're right. Ashley. Good morning, Ashley. I need to get off of coffee too, but working in urgent care and being a mom makes me want to more coffee. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with all the stuff that she does. You know, having to worry about quitting coffee. You know, maybe
she's all over the place.
Yeah,
She really is. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is our this is usually the time where we get involved with you. We drop news and all that. But today is going to be a little bit more laid back. We're going to talk a little bit about some social things going on. We're going to look at a few things. But, you know, the one thing that we have right now is, as we always do, we tend to try to start the show with Dr. Curran. And we're going to bring her up and let's see what's out there.
Good. We missed her last month.
Yeah, we did. Let's bring her in.
Yeah.
Or in the news this week. want to learn how weather from our star causes impacts at the Earth that shape the future of our world? Join Professors Dr. Jenny Meehan, Michael Cook, and myself as we guide you through a space weather certificate program like no other. To enroll in the Space Weather and Environment Science program offered at Millersville University, go to millersville.edu/SWEN. It's weather for the 21st century. This forecast also sponsored in part by CW Ops. Space weather this week is definitely keeping us on our toes. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, keep your eyes on reading 4126 because you'll see this flare, pow, right there. Did you see that? You might have even seen a little teeny tiny dimming region right there. Well, believe it or not, this region launched an earthward directed solar storm. But sadly, because you just don't see much going on here, well, it really wasn't that big a solar storm at all. In fact, it's been hitting Earth over the past 24 hours. And did you notice? Yeah, I didn't think so. So sadly, region 4126 kind of gave us a false alarm. So you aurora photographers, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. There really wasn't much aurora to begin with. But we might get another chance as we talk about that coronal hole here in just a minute. Now, meanwhile, take a look at these gorgeous filaments. They launch here on the 29th, right there, whoosh and whoosh. We'll get a much better view of those as we take a look from stereo's point of view. But these are part of that long set of filaments that we talked about last week that made the sun look like a piece of art. Well, obviously it's still going, and that gorgeous symmetry from the northern to the southern hemisphere is still hanging in there. We call this conjugacy, and it tells us a lot about our solar dynamo, that magnetic dynamo that really keeps the space weather machine continuing to roll. Now, as we look at that coronal hole, well, sadly, the top part of the northern boundary of this coronal hole is pretty high latitude in the south. So we may not be getting as much fast solar wind from this coronal hole as we'd like as it rotates through the Earth strike zone here over the next few days. I'm not expecting to get too much down at mid latitudes, but we'll talk more about that in the 5-day. However, we might see a little bit more as this coronal hole has this finger that kind of comes up to the equatorial region. So we might see a little burst of that, but we're going to have to wait likely another week or so to see that. Now, taking a look at our active regions, boy, the disk is covered with them, but sadly, all of them are pretty quiet right now. There are a few more that have been rotating into Earth view, and you've been noticing, if you're an amateur radio operator, you've been noticing some of that solar flux kind of creeping up and possibly the noise creeping up on the bands. But region 4132, which I thought might be a bigger flare player, has kind of been pretty quiet thus far. So we haven't seen any big solar flares. Now, we do have a couple regions rotating into Earth view from the far side here, and that'll happen over the next few days. You can even see a kind of a red ring here. This is actually part of a big long filament that we'll talk a little bit about. It likely will erupt before it rotates fully into view. We'll see. But there are some regions that it's connected to that actually might bring us some more a bigger amount of activity here, probably starting around next week. So right now, we're just basically looking at this big coronal hole here going to give us some fast solar wind, but not much more to report. We do have a few filaments. You probably saw that one that just lifted off right there. We just haven't had much in the way of Earth-directed solar storms, so we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer.
So there we go. We always want to try to get Dr. Tametha Skov in here. She puts out such great material. You can find them on YouTube. You can go right to Dr. Tametha Skov. She's right there on YouTube. She delivers an amazing, amazing report when it comes to solar. And I'm actually starting to learn a lot of things, Ryan, from looking at this. Actually, I'm surprised on how I just don't understand a few things. It's like I'm not understanding how they come up with quadrants. 4125, 4131. I'm not 100% sure on that one yet, but it's interesting to me. It really is. So, and it helps you guys out there know what's going on. Like she said, you ham radio users, even those in the paranormal field. I mean, your equipment is affected by so much.
Yeah, it's not something you really think about too much when you're out in the field or even everyday life, the what's going down, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
There we go, on the sun,
Mhm.
because again, you can't look at it but you know how it affects you because of the heat and stuff. But you know, solar flares and stuff like that. It's you know, it's not something you really think about, but something you that affects equipment and stuff like that, internet, satellite.
It affects it all.
Yeah.
Right. Even your cars, even your electronics, there's simple electronics. These things they affect it. They create electromagnetic fields that shoot down,
Mhm.
along with other types of energy. So be aware of it. That's why we do this. And it may give you a reasonable cause if you've had a crappy week. Why? Why were you feeling bad? See, we're affected by it too. Humans
Yeah.
are affected by EMF.
It's like if you can't feel it or see it or touch it, it kind of just disappears. There's a lot of stuff that you can't see in the atmosphere that affects the way you are, affects how you feel, affects even your electrical equipment. But since we don't see it, we don't think about it. We blame other things
Right.
on it.
And,
So
and
I
that's,
mean,
that's a good point. That's the one thing we do. We do jump to spiritual, supernatural, and paranormal when it very well could be something scientifically proven, speaking of, or there for people to experience, if I want to use that word. I think and we talk about this on G3 a lot, is how we humans tend to forget that there's earth science, and we forget a lot about our earth science from when we were in school. And we need to remember to apply that a lot more than we have in the past. That's one of the crucial things we should do. I agree. I completely
and at the same time, solar activity and stuff like that may lead to an increase in paranormal activity.
Yeah, I completely think so. I think that plays into it now, and adding that to the research part of it to bring in the effects from the sun on what we're experiencing here, really can add to a lot more evidence, review, and understanding of what we're dealing with if we apply it. That's the thing. So if it's applied. So we wanted to start out, of course, always with the solar news. Is kind of like this whole thing we do. But Ryan did ask about something this morning. Should we talk about it? And I'm like, we might as well. Let's just dive into it. And I'm going to hand that back over to Ryan.
Well, there was a paranormal investigator who passed away on, I guess it was yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
He was a part of the team that was bringing Annabelle around. His name is Dan Rivera, and he was a family man. He a good guy from all I've heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the part of the team that was bringing Annabelle around to different places. I think they were in Gettysburg this past weekend, and it's very sad. Because then you're obviously gonna no one knows how he passed away, but you always have people who will associate his death with Annabelle because of what the stories are, and that's unfortunate for his family and his friends.
Yeah.
But you have you put out these stories about Annabelle cursed doll, and automatically people are going to put that with his death, and I don't think that's a good idea personally.
I kind of agree with you on that one. I mean, at this point right now, we really shouldn't be, going, oh, what did it? What did I jump into conclusions? Right now, let's I agree. Rest in peace, Dan. Godspeed on your journey. But right now is not the time to be going, oh, this, that, and this is the person, this is the thing that affected it. Right now that doesn't matter. I mean, we can do a whole nother story and whole talk about that. I mean, we might talk about that in the future, but right now let's just show the respect to Dan's family and Dan and his journey, and may have Godspeed wherever he's going, if I will say that.
The doll will never be an excuse for him dying. I mean, it's just not. It's not. It's not going to. The doctors aren't going to come out and say, "Oh, he would have fine until he touched the doll." He died of natural causes. There could have been something that he had going on that we none of us knew about.
True, and that's the other thing that people forget about. It's just like like right now. Okay, there's things behind the scenes that you just don't know about. What people are going through, either mentally, physically, or spiritually, at that factor. And when something happens, people jump to the one thing they're connected. Like, oh, well, they died of this, or they passed on from that, or this built them down. But you have no idea, because you're not close enough to that individual to go, oh, they were going through some heavy stuff. Oh, they had some very bad health problems, or they just went through some trauma. It's easy for us as humans to jump into that conclusion.
I really hope people don't use that.
Yeah.
They will. People will.
Oh yeah, that's going to be jumping to that.
Yeah,
and then, and everybody's got their own opinions on this factor too. And I like Michelle. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle's jumping in. She said, good morning, Pacific Northwest Oregon. Good morning.
Woo!
And then she follows up, they need to put that doll somewhere and leave it. I'm only going to touch on that real quick. Check out Hill City Paranormal's live last night, their show. They talked about it. They did a pretty good job on it. And I'm going to say this. All I can base my experience on is what I know and what I've read. And I know that Mrs. Warren said that doll should never travel, that it should never come out of the box on which it was designed. It should never move. There, you can leave it for yourself. You make your own decisions. It's your belief, your faith.
Come to your own conclusions about it. But again, he was still a person. A lot of these stories you hear about the dolls, they're all like, they're people in the stories, but they're almost fictional characters. Oh, a guy said that Annabelle was choking her, or a priest got in an accident when he touched the doll, but it wasn't. You don't have names to the people, or they were just legends. This is an actual person that's associated with the doll. That it's an actual human being with family and friends and stuff like that. So, rest in peace to Dan Rivera, and sending prayers out to his family and friends during this difficult time.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Good morning, Sean. We were just talking about you, sir. We were giving you a little props and getting people to go over to Hill City Paranormal, say hello, check out their live. I
do have an article that kind of goes on with what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to add my screen to it. All right, share. All right. This is from Delaware Public Media. Does increased social media use lead to stronger belief in the paranormal? This is from October 4th, 2024. I'm not gonna read all this part. Get down to the article. That's a lot. New research conducted by the University of Delaware found that increased consumption of video-centric social media leads to a stronger belief in the paranormal. The study examined the popular YouTube videos about UFOs and ghosts, among other paranormal-related phenomenon, to see what messages existed. Most videos contained alleged footage of paranormal activity, but weren't supported by scientific or government sources. UD Communications professor Paul Brewer led the study, which he hoped would yield results on how the media can shape our belief systems. Polling over the years has shown that a substantial percentage of the public says that they believe in paranormal phenomenon like UFOs and ghosts, and to a lesser extent, things like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, Brewer said. So that raises the question, what shapes these beliefs? Where do members of the public get these ideas, these viewpoints? Can media messages help shape these beliefs? This goes to what we're talking about with Annabelle.
Right.
People see these stories about the doll, and then Dan touches or handles the doll after they hear stories that you're not supposed to handle the doll.
Mm-hmm.
Then they start, oh well, maybe there's something to it, The study found that YouTube is indeed linked to believing in the paranormal, and Brewer says the platform and others are the perfect avenue for paranormal believers. If you're looking for messages, videos out there that are going to reinforce believing in these phenomenon, there's a lot out there on YouTube that would reinforce your beliefs, Brewer said. There's a lot out there on TikTok too that would reinforce your beliefs. So people go looking for this content, they will find it. Brewer adds that watching paranormal themed documentaries is also connected to believing in the paranormal, but that could be similar to the chicken or the eggs theory.
Yeah, he's right. It's right. What came first, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to believe in it, there's plenty of stuff you can find.
Yeah.
To support your belief.
Well, see, the other thing is when we all got together originally, and I was training you guys and teaching you guys about leading. It's also leading people to beliefs and thoughts. So it's the intent. It's the same thing as Slender Man. Could Slender Man been created by YouTube and then the human society created out of intent because of the wanting and the seeing of this particular entity? That's an intriguing excuse me possibility. So
I think the question I have, and it may run people the wrong way, and I apologize for it, but to go back to Dan and the whole thing, if you go in, if you take the doll out and you go with the idea that the doll is cursed, and you go and you share the idea that the doll is cursed, but then the person who handles the doll passes away. I mean, how do you, if you're the team, how do you handle it? Because it's like, if you're putting it out there that you think the doll is cursed and your friend passed away from the doll, do you say that wasn't the case? But does that negate all the stuff you said about the doll in the first place?
Catch 22 on that double-edged sword, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I agree. I know
it's a tough situation. You go, it wasn't the doll. If it wasn't the doll, then what are you saying all this other stuff for?
True. True. I know we don't talk about it very much here a little late of anything else, but the same thing could be saying for your location.
Yeah.
As far as the rancher, is it something in the rancher? Is it an entity in the rancher? Or is it something in the grounds that can make people sick or feel a certain way? If you think about it, I think that's a good point, man. Good morning, Chris, and welcome to the show. And thank you for being here and hanging with us. Slender Man movie was awesome.
Yeah, the creepy pasta. A lot of people You know, they put stuff out there, and sometimes maybe it's like thought projections too. Maybe you think people think about for so many, like not enough people think about something, it actually starts to exist.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh-oh.
You got a toilet?
Yeah, I think so.
Why, thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I struggle to talk about that because I don't want to, you know, sound harsh or anything, but you know,
But it's your opinion, dude.
yeah.
I mean, that's people have to accept each other's opinions. Actually, we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're failing to do that, and this is your point of view, your opinion, and your objective. And who is to anybody to criticize somebody else's objective or opinion?
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it wasn't out of like malice or anything like that. It was more of a question like, okay, well, you think the doll causes this damage. The damage has been caused by the doll.
mhm.
I mean, how do you go about handling it, I guess?
How do you go about handling it? But see, doesn't that go back to how are you going to go back handling yourself and your emotions?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it really falls back to, too. And a lot of people want to have a reason for something to happen as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah. If they decide, well, if they say it's the doll, they'd be like, people be like, you know, why would you say that? That's wrong. But if they say it wasn't the doll, they'd be like, well, why are you saying the doll does this stuff? You know, if you don't think it's like, you know, it's just hard. I feel for them. I feel for everybody involved in that whole situation.
Yeah, and it is true, and we see it through society all the time. In fact, let's jump into that. You know, we've got some good travelers in the house today. You know, there's somebody that would be tuning in that's not saying hi or is their first timers, or you know, there are other things like we just flushed something down the toilet. It's okay. These things happen.
Sometimes you get a turd.
Sometimes you got a universal turd. Flush it out. Start over. Now, I'm going to play a little something here, and then we're going to talk about it. Let me get what Sean put. Said you don't handle it, leave it alone, put it in a museum. People will pay to see if you want to make money.
Well, I mean, they had it. They have it in that war museum. They should have just kept it there. But you know, I personally, I think it would have happened regardless of, you know, if it was out and about or not.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if this had happened at, you know, if this had happened at home, or, you know, and you didn't have the doll with them, it wouldn't be getting as much media attention as it is. But it's getting all over the place.
Yep. And it also isn't it interesting, you guys, how it's not just paranormal people that are probing at this right now. It's not. There's spiritualists that are out there probing that this is a situation we should not be messing with things that we have no idea about. That terminology, and you got other occults out there. So it's not just the paranormal people that may be bringing something up when they see this kind of stuff. So that adds to the potential energy of shit.
Yeah, it's like it should get an equal amount of attention regardless of when it happened.
Yeah,
but you know,
media
outlets probably wouldn't cover it as much if, you know, it happened under different circumstances.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you could take that all the way down to New Orleans. You could take it all the way up to the north with that factor of what you just said. I completely agree. Completely.
Nothing gets him. Just the way the media is covering it again.
Yep. Absolutely.
I feel like I need to put caveats on things, because then people take things out of context, and it's like you really got to really explain what you say, because when people clipping the podcast be like, what, because you've got to watch what you say. Again, going with the social media part of it, you can get shorts, and look, guess what Ryan Jones said on the What's Going Down podcast, and then you just clip me saying something, and it's like, what the fuck? So
you know what, they can do that anyway, because I can go into an app and splice in a couple things and it'll make it sound like they said something completely different than what they said. We see that all the time in the news, with the government and all that. So it really doesn't matter. But you got a valid point there. Somebody can hear it and they're like, if they have malintent towards you, they can grab it. They can grab it and go. But the sad part is, I'm going to say it like this as well. The sad part is, first of all, they're watching you. So what does that mean? They have that much time to waste their energy on their own situation than to carry on with their own life. I mean, that kind of speaks volumes on somebody else's behalf too, dude.
That's true.
Just saying. Let's get off of this topic real quick.
Okay.
Let's bring up a video real quick, and then we're going to talk with you guys, because this is something that I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, experienced or at least saw of, and we could talk about it, because this may be something that psychologically we can really aim at, and we can still talk about the whole spiritual paranormal thing, because what we're about to talk about, I even have pictures of, and I posted them that morning. So this is interesting. Let me bring this up for you guys, and let's get to it.
Sun. And I'm like, no, I haven't. So he says that the sun seems to be rising too early, hotter than usual, and certain farmers are noticing how their sunflowers are not following the sun anymore. So I'm like, okay, let me check this. I go to Reddit and social media, and I find hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of people talking about the same thing.
No, that's not the moon. The moon is above us.
I don't see. That's there, and that's there.
And that's not the sun. That can't be the sun, because the sunset is over there.
Shay, that's a planet.
The sunset is over there.
Mommy, that's a planet.
And the moon is up here.
Yeah. So that must be a planet.
I mean, that's the sun, but it looks kind of weird and it's setting in a different place. But that's just a coincidence, or maybe she's mistaken, right?
I absolutely hate videos like this, but I am going for my morning freaking walk, and I have got to be tripping here, dog. I gotta be tripping. Every morning I go for a walk, and every morning the sun glare is in the same freaking spot. Blinds me right from that direction. So tell me why the sun is over here. Why the hell is the sun over here when it should be over here? What?
So we got a couple of people noticing the same thing about the sun. But looking for more of this, it's not just the sun setting in a different place.
So if the sun set way over there, what is this? Like, what is that?
People were noticing several glitches that they could not explain.
The welding mask. So I don't know if it's like electromagnetic energy coming at us right now, being pulsed. That is so weird.
Yo, it's what, 7:25, something like that? The sun supposed to go down. Why is it even looking like this and up this high?
Look at this. I don't know.
Something is seriously up with the sun. The sun is coming up way too early, and it is setting way too late. Who else is noticing this?
So in the month of June, we got a lot of people noticing how the sun was acting weird.
What am I seeing? It's like oh my God, what was that?
And then we got farmers.
You guys tell me what you think about this.
Check this out.
Can you see those sunflowers?
Yes, I can.
Sunflowers have a thing called heliotropism. They face the sun and curve their face towards the sun every day, all day, every hour to absorb the sun. Can you see there? Yeah. Yeah, they got their face turned away from the sun here.
Okay, so that's really weird, but still, what he says next is even weirder.
Now, I don't know what's causing that, but I'm inclined to say that the very people that took down my videos also might be responsible for this.
Wait a minute. So it seems that the original video was actually deleted. Why would this happen? I mean, he's talking about sunflowers. So digging deeper into this, I actually found out that there's a huge rabbit hole and a very scary one. It involves China's fake sun, and this would explain the sunflowers. It also involves this crazy theory that there's something hiding behind our sun causing these anomalies. And there's also people suggesting that CERN broke the simulation that we're living in. But nothing is as scary as the Mars theory. The theory that Mars was once the moon of a larger planet that was destroyed by something that came from outside of our solar system. And some suggest that whatever this thing is, it's coming back. So let's try to find out what's really going on. And let's start with the basic. And that would be the videos of these anomalies people are seeing.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this out. I found this very interesting. This, of course, is from J Maz. I do follow him. I am subscribed to him. He's got some really interesting content on YouTube. But Ryan, did you ever see that? Did you see when this took place, when the sun did that? Was like 3 weeks ago?
No, I wasn't.
I
didn't notice it.
We were down at Smith Mountain Lake with Jimmy and Samantha. And I had come out, and it wasn't the nighttime setting, it was rising. I went, pardon me, and I went to walk Molly, our lab, on the backside. And I want to say it was about 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. And it was, we had good light. Sun usually will rise right in front of the lake house. So, in east, pow, west, pow, pow. This time, I did not think about it until they mentioned it. The sun was to the left at a 45 degrees. And I was like, okay, that is interesting, because I got pictures of it. I should have brought them up, but they're on my other profile. I've got about 4 or 5 different pictures of this. Now, if you go on Facebook, put in sun, I do believe, or sunburst, a buku amount of these pictures will come out because so many people took a picture of this. Now, there's a scientific anomaly on why it would look like that. And it doesn't happen very often, but it's something to do with the density of the atmosphere to even, I think it's pollution maybe added to it. I don't remember, but there's a causing for it. And this is not something that's the first time. We've seen this a couple of times in the past 50 years. So I want to make sure that's clear. What did catch me, brother, is the fact that the sun was off.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're looking here, we go to a 45, it's right there. Why is it there and not right here? That's a valid point. That was intriguing. Now, with that too, I'm going to ask you, have you noticed that the days are longer now?
I've always felt, I guess I kind of noticed it, but I figured it's summer. It was summer. I've noticed maybe getting a light earlier. Mm-hmm. It feels like. But this whole summer has felt off to me. I've seen an increase in bugs, lots of bugs out.
Let's talk about this. I'm glad you brought that up. Keep talking, man.
It just feels weird. It just feels like June felt like it took forever. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's because I'm not a huge fan of summertime, but I don't know. It just feels very draining when you go outside and it's so hot and humid. And again, it could just be the fact that it's summertime. But it's just felt like I don't feel as sick of summer or the way it feels outside. Usually right now I'm like, okay, dealing with it. I don't feel this way until like maybe August.
Yeah.
It just seems like
when you've finally gotten just feel like you've had enough of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I felt like that since middle of June.
You and I have talked about it because I was talking about how much weight I've gained in the last year, the 30 pounds of weight. I'm like, why? Well, I have not been nearly as active as I have been in the past years.
Yeah, I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
I really feel unmotivated to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be a personal.
We're not saying conspiracy, folks.
Yes.
We're being honest and straightforward of what really we're experiencing, not what people are saying. So we'll make sure we're clear with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have this idea of summer and you're kind of going out and doing stuff, being active. But if you walk out the door and you just feel completely drained because of what's going on outside, it's tough to want to get out and do stuff with, when it's humid, hot, and bugs are biting you every 5 seconds.
Now, that's the other thing that I found interesting. We had a good winter this past year. We had a lot of good snowfall. We had some very cold days. We had a lot of ice. Usually when that happens, we don't have that increase in bug. But what you just said is a good point. We've had an increase of insects, not a decrease. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah. No, I mean, we didn't have as much rain, so there wasn't as much standing water in the winter as there has been in the past.
I'll go with that.
That would cause there to be more bugs.
Well, remember when you and I took that walk at Cold Harbor?
Mm-hmm.
And then we were in the woods beside that creek, and I was like, why the hell is there were a large nest of mosquitoes already coming out. And
that was March.
Yeah, that was in March. Yeah. That should not be.
I know people talk about winter depression, being cold, depressed, and but people don't talk about summer depression.
Mm-hmm.
Because people just don't associate summer with depression, but it can it's a thing.
It really is. Sean says, yes, there were people lighting the snow on fire. Remember? Oh yeah, that too. He's got a point. They did show that. Valid point, Sean.
Could the fake snow? Oh, fake snow. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Fake snow that was coming been something to increase bugs. Do you think the fake snow was from cloud seeding?
It very well could possibly be. Is this the after effect of cloud seeding? Who knows? Could it be the after effect of what we are using to either increase or decrease the climate? That's interesting. That's another thought. What if, Sean, let's reverse it on what you just stated. What if they put something in the sky, as Ryan just said, seeding, but it was meant to kill bugs? Well, then wouldn't that affect us too? That would affect everything. So it's a catch-22. Increase or decrease? Yeah, something ain't working. Something's really
also been an increase in, at least where I am, in dragonflies.
Okay.
Flying around.
Wow.
So, but my apartment's kind of near water.
Again,
by a creek. By the same time, but it's never been this way before.
Okay.
You know, there's an increase in birds. We have birds flying all over the apartment. We have a nest right outside my door. An increase in mosquitoes and an increase in dragonflies. And it's not like every summer this happens. This is the first time. It's all, they've all been together and they've all increased. I've barely seen dragonflies before, you know, at least around here. Now they're all over the place.
Let's look at the social aspect of this situation. We can go all the way back to 2018 is where I want to go, and back forward to where we are right now. One of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this today, this morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day.
Cover all your bases there.
Yeah. Is the fact that look at the the demeanor of mankind in general, men and women, doesn't matter. Our attitudes have gotten really bad. People are disrespecting people left and right. They're in a hurry. They're impatient. Now, this year has been a lot better than I've seen in the past. But what is causing mankind to start to lose their shit? That's literally what's happening to me, what I've seen. You want to read what Sean said?
Yeah. Look at the increase of storms as well. There was talk of government control of storms. As the young folks say, the math ain't mathing.
Yeah, he's going to HARP, and I can't disagree because there is a meteorologist, and I'm going to have to find her, and I'll have to put her on the main page, who tracks the signals coming from the Doppler towers. And the last time there was that last big storm, hence Carolina, that all of these were pushing a particular energy from the Doppler radar towards that direction. And you can see, and she goes, look at this. You guys need to see this. Texas, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. All of the Dopplers were pointing, like pushing the storm up. And you could watch the pushing it and tell what happened in North Carolina. Pow. And then we got here in Virginia, we got some good hit too. But this happens more and more than you guys think. We need to pay more attention to it. Yes. Could it be HARP? I think it's possible. It is a very good possibility. Now, what are the after effects of HARP? Maybe increasing the insects, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? It's the same thing with CERN. We don't know the after effects of what they're trying to do over at CERN. So maybe HARP could be really causing some area issues.
Some say they're seeding the clouds. I saw an article that said yes and no, that the clouds they seeded didn't cause the floods. Well, of course, they're going to say that.
They got to protect their ass.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they did, but, you know, they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, it's our fault.
Yeah, but here's the other problem, and this is the other thing that I wanted to bring up. We really don't know what's going on out there in space. We don't know how close any of these planets really are. How close is the sun to us? We don't know. Could there be, another planet? Could there be the hidden planet? They say, now, I'm not going to pronounce it right, but I'm going to say it the way I say it. There is a 12th planet called Nubia that they don't talk about except for in Sumerian text. This is supposedly where the Anunnaki originated from. Now, I heard a very interesting point on why even the Anunnaki might have been here. I'm not going to get into that today, but I did find it interesting on the corresponding effects of what is out there that we don't know because we're only going by what we're told and seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not out in space. We don't even have physical proof that there is a space. Okay, that's the whole Matrix idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm just putting it out there, you guys.
Like a simulation type
Yeah,
deal.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just making a point. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying the fact that we don't know. So we don't know the effects that CERN could be having, or HARP, how it affects us, how it affects wildlife, life in general on the planet, plants, animals.
It's really hard to completely believe anything that people say because of there's been too much being hidden.
Yeah.
And
that's sad.
It's hard to really trust your own eyes, to be honest.
Right.
I did find an article or chat GPT on summer depression.
Go for it.
Yes, summer depression is real. It's called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. But while most people associate it with winter, about 10% of people with SAD experience it in the summer. Instead, it's often called reverse seasonal affective disorder, or summer SAD. Why does summer depression happen? Hang on. Where'd it go? Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Here are some common factors that contribute: too much sunlight, longer days. It disrupts melatonin and circadian rhythms, making sleep harder. Poor sleep leads to irritability, fatigue, and depression. Heat and humidity. Extreme heat can cause exhaustion, irritability, isolation. People will stay inside to avoid it. That would be me. Physical discomfort can worsen mental health symptoms. Again, you go outside and you're miserable because it's so hot. Body image issues. Summer brings more social events, vacations, and expectations around appearances, swimsuits, etc., which can heighten anxiety or depression. That's true. Schedule disruptions. Kids out of school, vacations, or changes in routine can cause stress and loneliness. Again, that's happened over here. Some people lose structure, which can affect mental health. Biological or hormonal factors. Some people's bodies respond poorly to heat, light, or allergens, triggering mood shifts. Again, that's pretty much
bipolarism.
Yeah, exactly. Symptoms of summer SAD: insomnia, trouble sleeping, loss of appetite, weight loss, anxiety, agitation, restlessness, social withdrawal, feeling hopeless or worthless. See that loss of appetite. I think when I'm inside more, I eat more to cure my boredom. I have nothing to do, so I'm going to eat.
Well, that's the same thing with the wintertime.
Yeah.
That's when they say you gain so much weight. But you're right. When you're stuck inside, you get a little bored. Summertime, in the chill, you're going to be chilling and watching TV and hitting the snacks. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Why does it feel like fall, and maybe to a lesser extent springtime, goes by a lot faster than the extreme seasons like summer and winter? For me, it feels like fall just flies by. Spring, not so much, because I have allergies, so it feels, for me, I'm miserable. It doesn't go by fast enough. But it just seems like maybe I'm the only one who feels that way. That mostly fall goes by super fast, and it may be because I enjoy it.
There it is. That's one reason. Remember when we were kids, we used to love summer and we loved spring and fall because it seemed like it never ended, and that was great until it did end. It was too late. Now we're older. We love the mid climates, and they move too fast. They're transitioning from the extreme cold to extreme hot. So that transition seems to be shorter. That I agree with. It does seem that way.
Plus, there's a lot of stuff going on in the fall.
Yeah. Exactly.
Halloween, Christmas, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Sean read, I was just about to say, how many planets are there? I mean, really, Howie beat me to it. We really don't know. All we know is what we were told. I don't even know what's beyond the clouds. Moon landing, I mean, people even have debunked our equipment on Mars. Isn't it pictures that have been taken in Canada? We really know very little. I was actually watching the Y-Files about that.
Yeah.
You know, NASA has messed with the pictures.
NASA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We look at the paranormal, or just the way what we do with ghosts. People have told us all along that spirits don't exist, and
Yeah.
you know,
We're kind of finding out that there's something else that is out there.
yeah.
So it's true. It's true.
Opening the box.
We got to talk about AJ real quick. Definitely want to give a little props to AJ and the Y-Files and Hucklefish, our friend
Yes.
Hucklefish.
Sean, if you haven't listened to the Y-Files, download that podcast. Go to because they talk about all this stuff, and it's really funny.
What I've been doing is the drives from here to Roanoke's 3 hours, folks, to there and 3 hours back. I've now got a whole list of the Y-Files that and Paranormal Rope. So check out Rope, R-O-P-E. That's another good one. Him and his wife have done an amazing job with that particular series documentary too. So it's R-O-P-E, just like Rope. And I don't remember what it stands for, but it does have to do with paranormal. But they talk about the different things. I will put these on a rotating, and I will listen to them all the way there and back. And I've only gotten through half of what's out there. So
you know what? Another great show to listen to on a road trip. It's called The Orion Effect.
Stop it now.
It's an awesome podcast. It's actually on every Sunday at 7:00 p.m. on the R.I.F.T Nation Network, which happens to be what we're on right now. Crazy.
Yeah, we've gone over a little bit.
Another show comes on Tuesday nights.
It's a freaking show.
It's a freaking awesome paranormal show. So once you get past all our episodes, then listen to the Wi-Fi.
There you go. There you go. Well, actually, right now we just started the series called Clockwork, where we're talking about conspiracies, and we started in the 1800s. We're actually taking in a chronological order of all the conspiracies and unusual and weird events all the way up to 2025.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think it's going to be a really cool series. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Sunday, we're talking about the Mary Celeste. We're stepping back a couple years comparatively to Aurora, Texas, but it kind of adds into it. So yeah, it's going to be
you guys stepping back from having guests on, or are you going to have guests on to talk about the conspiracy theories with you?
I think, down the road, once Clockwork gets going, we're going to go back to the guests. But right now, this is giving a chance for Rhonda and I to just take a deep breath, kind of relax from dealing with guests and having to come up with things, and people getting burned out, and actually people hearing what Ron and I's opinions are, our thoughts on it, and focusing on some of the things we really wanted to see, because this is all about Rhonda. As far as Clockwork, she was like, can we do a show that's specifically about conspiracy, because I don't understand where's what. I'm like, that's brilliant. And we've engaged the AI personality in it, so it's really to the benefit. It's really good. I really enjoy doing it this way right now. But guess will be returning.
It's fun to have just a show where it's just you, the two hosts talking back and forth and sharing ideas, and not have to worry about having a guest on and stuff like that. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you just need a breather. It's just like I said before. Sometimes you just need to step away, or maybe sometimes you just need a change of pace. So I want to follow up and what Sean just said, and we'll wrap it up with this one this evening, this afternoon, this morning for you guys out there.
Whatever the case may be.
Exactly. Seems we have a new visitor supposedly in the universe, a new visitor in our universe, it says to be seen that a Moa has returned.
Oh.
And get this, it's twice the size on what it was the first time. So, question leads out there to it. What is a Moa? Now, if you really want to know and you want to get into a Moa, please go over to our good friend, the Angry Astronaut, right there on YouTube. He keeps you updated with everything NASA related and astrological, if that's the word I want to use for that one. Astrologically? We'll go with that. That deals with planetary stuff. He does a great job of explaining and keeping you updated on the news. So go check out the Angry Astronaut. The last series was talking about Oumuamua, the second arrival. So I'm going, how is this all of a sudden that we're just left it like a year ago and suddenly it's already back? Is it intelligent? Is it man-made? Is it created by something else? Is it a moonstone? Is it a comet? All these things are being left out to think about and go, wow. It's interesting. Check it out. It's a Moa. And for that, we're going to close the doors on this session. It was good seeing everybody. Thank you for being a part, checking us out, hanging us out.
Hanging us out. Yep.
Thank
you for hanging us out. We appreciate it.
That's right. And until next month, we'll see you very soon. Keep up with the news. Let us know if there's something you want to hear. We'll be glad to talk about it. Take care, travelers.
Have a good night, guys.